All right, team, we are live on YouTube right now. A couple things that are big. We're going to first go to, I'm just going to show you um, this story. Okay, so California lifts stay-at-home orders. So the governor's going to be saying this today. Actually, he did this today. Yesterday, we heard the rumor, hey, the governor is going to lift the stay-at-home order, going to lift the lockdown, going to allow for businesses to open, going to allow for restaurants to open, be outdoor dining to start, cascading a huge political discussion and so on and so forth. But the reality is this: we're going to look at today, how will this impact San Diego real estate? Might be different than what you think is likely to happen here. But also right now, I need everybody to do this one thing. Do this right away. If you're a Facebook user, do this right away. Okay. If you got logged off of Facebook, you noticed that this weekend, just all of a sudden you're logged out, you didn't do anything. They updated a bunch of stuff and they're trying to track even more personal information than they already have, which they already have so much. But now they're trying to get inside of other things, and that has to do with your phone. So please go in there, follow these instructions, hit pause right now so you can see what these are, or come back and watch this again. Hit pause. Do it exactly as this is spelled out. Okay, this is from my Facebook page. If you didn't see it, make sure that you do it. All right. So a couple things. So I've been looking at this. All right. So what is the, coronavirus, pandemic issue? What has happened in real estate? Well, what we noticed is, and I'll take it off of this thing here once I'm a one-man band. You know how I roll these days. So remember when this happened, okay? And I'm not patting myself on the back here. I'm just going to tell you exactly what's happened, and I'll tell you when I'm wrong, but I'll also tell you when I'm right and when I think I'm going to be right again. So what happened was we had a lockdown. I did a debate. I brought Dave Serpa on. He was super negative. A lot of people were. They thought, hey, listen, if we are going into a lockdown, people are going to lose their jobs. There's going to be foreclosures. There's for sure going to be a huge drop in the value of real estate. But people forgot a very important thing. Real estate is an emotional thing, usually is. Okay, it's driven by emotion, a desire to experience a different life or to have a different setting. Locking people in their houses is a surefire way to make them want to buy real estate. Conversely, taking that away could also eliminate some demand. Now, people might be saying right now, hey, we could use that. We could use a little less craziness. We could use a little breather from the madness that's going on in the market. And I think we're going to have that coming. If they continue to roll this out, if we continue to see that they're going to loosen things up and get us back to normal, you will see a demand for real estate decline. It's going to happen. So it's just a matter of to what degree. And believe me, we need this. We can't keep going like this. We need things to slow down. And an actual return to normal, where everyone's back at work and kids are back at school, would cause a lot of people to have some time to breathe. Right now, with people trying to work out of their houses and kids, doing school from home, in a lot of cases, that gives you no room to breathe at home. That causes an extremely emotional response. It causes a lot of people to go out and want to buy stuff. I was looking today at properties. I'm always looking. I'm looking at everything. I look literally at everything. So I look at rentals. I look at homes that are for sale. I was looking at the Temecula market today. And what I thought was, you know what? Let me just go up to 800,000, 4 beds, okay, with a pool, and see what is up there. And it is amazing to me how like a house like this can go for 750,000. It's actually a great listing, and it will probably sell for more than this. But that was kind of bonkers to me. So if you've been paying attention to what's going on with this, you've seen the market seems to have just gotten a little crazy. Well, how could that be? Well, it's gotten that way because there's literally nothing for sale. So let's go back to this. The same search. Oh, let's see here. The same search. And why did I go all the way up to Temecula? Why did I have to do that with such a broad search criteria? Derrick, you're going up to 800,000 with a pool. You should be able to get tons of those houses in San Diego. Look at that. If that doesn't tell the tale, I don't know what does. If you're looking for a good value on a home with a pool, Escondido's for sure the place to go, right? Used to be El Cajon. Probably see more in that range. But look at this. Look how dry it is just all over the entire county. This is literally all of the homes under 800K with a pool. And keep in mind, some of these aren't even, they're community pools, not even, standalone pools. So when you see these and, you look at these, I didn't see this one earlier. Oh yeah. So that's a pool that has no water in it. that's basically a throwaway house, complete rebuild. Looks like a mess. 700 grand. So that's kind of where the market is at, which is a crazy level. And everyone who's in this market will tell you that this is a crazy, crazy level. Let's see if I get my lower third in here. There you go. So Derrick Evans, VA home loan specialist, focus on helping veterans buy homes, refinance. That's my phone number, my NMLS 155010 for full disclosure. But basically, what I wanted to bring to your attention is that, number one, we are going to see the tide turn here with regard to everything that's been going on with coronavirus. It has seemed as though there was this huge clampdown that was never going to end. You're going to start to see things loosen. Okay, there's been a lot of different lawmakers, including the people in New York, who have said, hey, we are seeing that this is really killing the economy. We're going to change this. Apparently, Newsome here in California has said the same thing. Okay, great. But remember that return to normal, although it seems like that would cause the stock market to spike, although it seems like that would cause real estate values to spike. Remember what happened when we got the lockdown. Stock market went crazy. Okay, we can even, and by the way, when I say went crazy, I mean it went higher, so I don't want to say it went crazy, but let's just say, it went higher. This is so nutty to me what CNBC is doing with this pop-ups now. So if you look, here's the initiation of coronavirus. Okay, we don't know anything about this. Market gets spooked, comes down. As soon as, and this is March 19th we're looking at right here. Okay, that was the low. March 19th was the low. That was like week one of just even hearing about coronavirus, of just becoming a reality. Ever since week one of coronavirus, the stock market has gone higher. So what happens when those things turn around and go the other way? Remember, Wall Street and big money moves in ways that are counterintuitive sometimes, and I think this is one of those times. And now we're getting this news, which is great news. Great news for a lot of people who can go back to work. Great news for a lot of people who like to go out to eat and go do things and be outside and go to places of business and support the community. You're going to have more opportunities to do that. How this will affect real estate, though, is yet to be seen. And so my opinion is that, if what got us here is flipping, then that could very well change. Now, the good news is we have very, very good mortgage rates right now, and they have stabilized significantly. And if we do see a decline in the stock market, that should improve even further. So my expectation is that we're going to continue to see low rates. We're going to continue to see competitive scenarios. Someone asked me, hey, how does today compare with right before the crash? Those of you who weren't around for the crash of 2008 or weren't in the business for that time frame, it was very, very different back then. It was competitive. It was competitive, and there were a lot of buyers, and houses didn't sit. They still sold. They didn't sell as quick as they could sell now. We had about 3 to 4 times the inventory. I'm going to do a video completely just about that. But because the similarities are there, except for now, it's different because the inventory is so much lower. And what that is causing people not to just bid up $5,000 or $10,000 above appraised value like they did back then. In 05, 06, 07, people would bid over appraised value. People would cover a little bit. People would go above, but not like they are now. Not like they are now. It was much, if it got to 15,000 over appraised value, people would be like, nah, because they had other options. Right now, you find that one home, you might not see another one like that for months. For months that you like that much. So that's causing people to go a little bit crazier. So yes, it is different than it was back then. That is a lot less scary from a stability standpoint, meaning the way that people are qualifying for these loans. But it is definitely eerie to think that this market right now is crazier than prior to the crash. Now, it's not crazier for the same reasons. It's mostly inventory driven. And as of right now, there's nothing that's going to change that. So if we keep low interest rates and low inventory, you can still expect multiple offers. You can still expect a very competitive market, but it may not be quite as crazy as things get back to normal a little bit. And that would be a good thing. So please keep in mind, don't be discouraged. If you're out there shopping, keep looking. Right now is one of those markets where we really have to utilize our connections. Just put an active duty service member in escrow today, got him his house off the market. So, just with some hustle, he's in Italy right now. So we're able to get him a house, not even here. off the market, no bidding war. The seller was really concerned about coronavirus and wanted it that way. So we just put everything together perfectly. That is how you can make something happen in this particular market. I don't know of another way that you can do that. So I'm just going to put my information up there. If you are struggling in this market, if you are not getting value from your lender, the person who's doing your loan, you should be getting a lot of value from them. A lot of helpful tips, advice, opportunities at homes that may not be on the market yet. Give me a call, shoot me a text, shoot me an email, whatever's good for you. And I'm happy to help. That's what we do. VA Dream Team, we do this all day, every day. So we're here for you. And I wanted to tell you that stuff about Facebook because it's scary how much these people are spying on us. They are spying on us in so many different ways, and they're getting so much access to our information. I mean, think about it. I don't know how coding works, but if they can get on your phone and see the things you're typing and know your passwords are, I mean, think about that. That's why we've got to go to just a Face ID only situation, because I think that's the only way we can really secure these things up. But in the meantime, don't let them spy on you any more than they already are, and follow the prompts that were provided here. I'll put it back up on the screen in case you missed it earlier. Oops, I guess I have to do a screen share first. How about that, Derrick? Put it back up there. Follow those steps, okay, to a T. Make sure you remove and do everything all the way to the very end of this. Share this with your friends, screenshot it, post it on your Facebook, post it on your Instagram, post it everywhere, because they are going to continue to dig and dig and dig into us here. Now, there's also, I'll do one more thing here for people who are interested in investing. I've been buying a lot of SPACs lately, which hasn't been like a long-term strategy for me. But there are a lot of these that are really, really interesting. The SPACs are the, specially created acquisition companies, which they're called special purpose acquisition companies. Basically, they're there to accumulate funds and then buy other companies, improve them. And there's kind of a bubble going on there, but there's definitely some opportunities. What was I going to show you? Let's see, what was the one from today? This is one that there it is, CCIV. And there's a couple of these that some really big names are involved in. This was one of them that we got to pop in today, which is nice. Everyone's kind of been waiting on that one for a while. ACTC also is a one. This one is more closely associated with an opportunity for clean energy. So the expectation here is really good on this one. This one I bought at like $12 not that long ago. Yeah, it was like maybe a couple weeks ago. And so, we're seeing some movement in certain, areas of the stock market. So even if the stock market takes a dive, there are opportunities. Follow the money. You can follow, like on Twitter, you can follow SPAC, SPAC. Just type that in. You can follow people who are actually doing all the research on these and go in and then just verify it for yourself. There's huge investors that are putting money into some of these SPACs, and they're just basically going to go up and just acquiesce, just acquire all these different companies, and ultimately build them together and make them more efficient. It's really, really interesting investment strategy. Also, something else we should mention here on the real estate front, because when we look at this, and this is a whole nother video as well that I'll be doing, which will be titled something like, "Is my worst fear about real estate coming true?" Because this is what it would look like. And about 10 years ago on the radio, I was saying this to everyone when we were screaming from the rooftops, "Hey, now's the time to buy real estate. Now's the time to buy. Now's the time to buy." We're fresh off the crash. The prices were low. Rates weren't super low yet, but they were good. And, let's call it 4 or 5%. They were fine. That was not bad at all. And we implored the people to buy houses because we saw huge hedge funds spending billions of dollars buying real estate. Look at how few homes are for sale that meet that criteria that I have there under 800K. With a pool, 4-bed, 2-bath. That's it. Detached. Those are my only requirements. Some of these aren't even correct. So what happens is we've seen Bill Gates. We've seen Jeff Bezos. Apparently there are other billionaires that we don't know as well who are also buying up land, buying up as much as they can, buying up land, buying up land, buying up land. My greatest fear about real estate is that one day us regular folk will not be able to own it. Eventually, it will be something that is only doable if you are rich. And a lot of people believe that's already true here in San Diego. And it's hard to argue with them about that. But my concern is that for the nation, our land is so valuable that big funds, huge hedge funds, or people who act as huge hedge funds because they have hundreds of billions of dollars, like Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos and other investors in Facebook and so forth, will buy all this land. And what happens is that's the trickle down. So if they buy all this land and then ultimately, you know, take away opportunities to develop that land, it will cause problems, macro problems in the supply chain, if you will, for new real estate. That type of activity, although you may not think, well, they're not buying acres here in California, so how does that affect things? It does, and it sets the stage. So we have to be very, very careful for this and keep our eyes on it. This is why, as soon as you can, you should buy a home, or you should have a real estate strategy in place. If you have a real estate strategy in place, that means you're looking to buy a home. Your expectation is to ultimately own real estate free and clear. You need to do that. This is something that's super, super important, because if my worst fears do come true about what the long game plan is for the uber wealthy, which is to own all the real estate, then we may not get a better time than this. Who knows? There may not be a crash. There may not be that glaring opportunity. So anyway, I'll do a separate video on that one with the specific info later. Just wanted to drop it on you. It's Monday. Happy Monday. Hopefully that's helpful for you. Do the Facebook thing ASAP and share this with your friends. Let's help make them smarter than everyone else. I'll see you soon.